Now, if I can, I'm going to read out to you first of all the defense of Caitlyn's flip when she bumps into Vi.
Which one?
When she betrays Ambassador.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's the one that I've
okay.
seen
it's
online.
got 10k likes. This has on good old Twitter. So
Does it
when
even
Vi
count as
told,
No, I was just going to say, does it even count as a flip if she's just in constant rotation?
why not? Because when Vi told Caitlyn she was trying to save her dad, there was no way in hell that Caitlyn would have continued with Ambessa's plan. Losing her mother is what set her on this path, so taking away Vi's lost parental figure is something she would never do, and you can see that in her eyes.
That's the one I've seen too. Yeah, fucking
So
I hadn't
funny.
heard this one. Sorry.
Oh, where I really never heard this was in the show.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, Caitlyn thinks that Vi's parents are dead.
She's. What do you think happened? She said he's a wolf man.
No, she
That
didn't-
a
it
mad
doesn't say
scientist
that.
resurrected. So I'm suggesting that if this conversation actually fucking took place,
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
how could it possibly resemble anything close to rationality? And then it'd be like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's great that you're working so hard to save your parent with your sister who killed my mum. Remember that? And then Vi's like, she didn't know your mum was in there. Just say it. Just keep that in mind, okay?
Yeah, it wasn't personal. or
Wouldn't have
anything.
changed anything,
It
though.
wasn't like personal.
She's not sorry though.
I'm not sorry though. And this one's relatively much longer than the previous, so you can stop me whenever you want. So
Stop.
I know we
Turn it
would
off.
eventually reach a point where masses of people would misinterpret Arcane, but I never imagined it would be this bad. Yes, I absolutely agree that Season 2 was rushed, especially Act 3, and it is undeniable that the series would have benefited from at least one more episode, if not an entire act. However, the current discourse about the show is so superficial that it's impossible to have a conversation about anything deeper than a mere synopsis of the characters and the story. So many of you expected this series to hold your hand and dumb everything down so you can understand it, but when it wasn't the case, you all started rioting and calling the characters vague, the plot bad, and the ships underdeveloped. Ugh. Ships are
The use of the
underdeveloped.
term ships
The
in that.
ships are underdeveloped.
What is a developed ship? What?
The amount of people who value
Mel and
spoken
Jay, sort of.
text more than the actions of characters is worrying. And more worrying than that is the amount of those who interpret the said actions so superficially. I can't believe it needs to be explained that it wasn't Vi's death that led to the good timeline, but the lack of hex tech. The result would have been the same if either of them had died. It wasn't about Vi, but about the child that died because of the dangerous technology, and that therefore that technology must not be used. Didn't people die anyway in that explosion originally?
Heavily implied.
Mhm.
The line
The
from
building collapsed. What do you think?
Yeah, Grayson tells Vander that we don't know if anyone died, but people were hurt.
You wouldn't need someone to die to know it's incredibly destructive. That was kind of the idea. It's incredibly... Victor and Jace do it against the ban from the council / the academy, right?
Yes.
What the fuck is this talking about? The hex
Yeah,
tech was
so-
still there. It was still findable. The notes were still there. It makes no fucking sense. The hex tech was still... It's a meme to say that Vi dying creates world peace because
Was about to say,
it's so
pretty
badly
sure it was
written that that's how it comes across. Good God. The fact that Heimerdinger was there, as people are mentioning in chat, it doesn't make sense. It had to be Vi's death. That's what did it. Everyone hated that child, and it united them in peace, knowing she was dead. That must have been it. Call me unbiased and unfair, but the moment I hear you don't like Vi, I will assume you didn't understand the show.
Oh, that's a good conversation starter.
Also, the whole
Well,
discourse around
yeah, let me
Kate
know how
Vi
you know.
scene in episode 8 is giving brain smooth. No, Vi didn't choose Caitlyn over Jinx. Quite the opposite. No, Caitlyn didn't plan all of it to fuck Vi. No, Vi didn't do it because she felt forced or because she's a horny animal who doesn't care about her sister. I mean...
That's what
Fooled me.
happened.
Could have
That's
fooled
what
me.
happened.
Could've
What?
fooled me.
Where's? Here comes
Big
like
L for women.
the counter. Here we go.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And they continue. No, them fucking in a cell is not about the class difference, but about the fact that Vi felt an insane rush of emotions after realizing that Kate would let go of her revenge and help Jinx escape, all for her. It's like the line, nobody remembers it. Caitlyn was already talking about the fact she didn't even know if she wanted Jinx in a cell. That's what she
Thanks for
said to
letting
her.
your mother's murderer escape.
I know, and then it's not
God, that makes me so hot for you.
it's not a good thing to let Jinx run free. She's a fucking psycho.
Yep.
And, she says,
And she went on to try and kill herself. It
Yes.
wasn't speculative. It
by
happened.
detonate after burning down the last drop. Look at that friendly attitude she's got.
Rude, by the way.
They continue. Yes, I do agree that it would have been nice. Would be nice if all for her. I don't think this is matching up very well, but I'll continue. I do agree that it would have been nice if we got a longer conversation between Vi and Caitlyn. It would feel great to hear Caitlyn apologize, but I'll always value actions over words. Her talking to Jinx, recognizing that she's just as bad as her.
What?
Caitlyn realized she's
Is
no
that what
better than Jinx, I guess.
I mean, she did yes people, but that's still a stretch.
I mean, you could contextualize that way better than anything. Jinx is chaotic and kills the shit out of people without even realizing what she's doing, compared to at least Caitlyn gassing Zorn is more defensible than fucking Vi doing it. But anyway, recognizing that she's just as bad as her and choosing to trust Vi that her sister can change, thus letting Jinx escape, will always mean more than any verbal apology, and I'll die on that hill.
Okay.
You died.
The hill was taken. I'm sorry.
The hill's
There were many
gone.
casualties.
Also, it was Jinx's decision to let go and walk
there's
away.
more. Fuck.
It was not about Vi trying to get to Vanda, but about Jinx being tired of everything. Even if that fight didn't happen, the result would be the same. Jinx would leave because she knows that Vi couldn't do that. She knew that the two of them couldn't have a normal life together, and that Vi would never give up on her. Jinx didn't die because Vi pushed her or failed her, but because she loved her too much. Whether you believe that she's dead or that she escaped, it's her decision either way. I agree that too much happened too quickly, but stop confusing your stupidity and inability to read between the lines with the quality of the series. Arcane may be flawed, but it's brilliant.
Bold
I
statement there at the
always
end.
love these smug soyjack people who say like, you just didn't understand. You see, you didn't get it, and then they will just reiterate to you like the most basic idea that the writer wanted you to think.
Yeah.
They'll buy it. Hook,
I'm
line,
reminded
and
of that one
sinker.
guy we covered.
It's the smug
talking about
mask
Blade
with the
Runner,
crying face
you know?
beneath it.
Oh, Gramoogly.
Grumbuglia.
Anthony
Yeah.
Gramooglia.
It's like what the scene's really about, and then he just recites Roy Batty's little speech.
Like actual dialogue, one-to-one citation, and you're like, "See, I noticed the subtext." You're like, "Wow,
I had noticed what they said.
That's just
explicitly in the scene.
good for you." So the next thing, because we got a little
No,
adventure
not
we're doing
more.
here.
No more
I need an
adventures.
adventure.
I need
Sorry.
an adult.
Everyone, enter the watch together.
Oh, watch!
Oh,
why are you doing
no,
this to
Lord.
me? It's fucking
Oh,
4 a.m.
no.
Mutely. Why?
Yeah, it's pretty late, but let's go on an adventure. Why not?
It won't be that long, but it is an
Adventure before
adventure.
I need to stop agreeing to these.
So
I think I know what you're going for.
this
here,
is the channel Not So Average Fangirl, and she has a Arcane Season 2 Episode 4 watch party with Amanda Overton and Katie Townsend, who are involved with the good old creation of Arcane Season 2. And they're asked a question that I think we are going to want to know the answer to. Maybe quite curious. I'm going to hit
All right.
play.
Okay, well, actually, you know what? This question's perfect to kind of follow up with that. From Clouds and Gears, what was a typical day like writing for Arcane? Does the writer's room go from 9 to 5, 5 days a week? What's that like?
So I think it's so many different experiences writing the show. We did have a writer's room. We did work 10 to 6 or 5 days a week in season 1. That was much more kind of like what we did. We broke the episodes. We broke the whole season. We wrote the episodes that way, and we kind of passed them off to Fortiche. And then Christian and Alex kind of supervised the animatics and things. And
We can continue, but already.
Yeah.
Can
You can hear what's coming. You know?
I hear the
Yes,
setup. I'm waiting for the
So in
punchline.
season
In
one,
season
we did
1,
this.
we did all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Now,
Why did you
I also-
stop doing those things?
Christian Link was given quite a bit of credit for the reason Arcade is as good as it is, and she just said it went to him once all the writers had done all of the work. Like, he did the supervision.
This person, Amanda Overton, should get a lot of that credit from my understanding, at least from the outside. From what I've seen of her talking about season 1, it seems as though she has a pretty rigorous understanding of what made that season of television very good. Seems.
But
from the
yes,
outside.
let's see what else she says.
Produced the show. And then in the second season, we also did a writer's room that started off similarly. And then
what? What is
Then
gonna
what?
what happened?
And then
COVID happened and
Oh,
sort
no.
of derailed all of that. And then we ended
No.
up working.
And not in the 21st century where you can get into calls with people and exchange notes and everything.
Yeah,
I feel like
like
that's a gap that you can
Like they
pretty
do right now.
easily overcome. Like we're doing right now. You can screen share, you can have
Mhm.
Google Docs or whatever to share notes. You could still present things with storyboards. So that's
Rex,
not
you
an
suggesting
excuse.
that shouldn't necessarily have gotten in the way of anything?
Yes.
Kind of.
I agree with you. But let's see what she says.
Then, COVID happened and sort of derailed all of that. And then we ended up working from home. The team kind of shrunk down.
Wait,
Why?
what?
Shrunk down.
What?
Why did
Why?
the team shrink?
What?
What does this have to do? If anything, COVID should have given you even more stuff because
Wait.
everyone was watching more. The big tech boom, the big entertainment boom that happened online because of COVID.
was like half of the writers' room 95-year-old
Did
people
they
who
die
died
from COVID?
Did
Oh,
they
no.
die? Oh god. Well, it's-
can't wait to write the next season of television. Shavika's
Oh, no, my heart.
Oh, my heart! Oh no!
Oh, there it goes. The
no,
old
I
ticker.
can't breathe.
Oh, make sure Heimerdinger gets at least half an hour.
No.
Heimerdinger's my favorite.
Oh no, Heimerdinger.
To me, Alex, and Christian, and the
It shrunk to
Three.
me, Alex, and Christian.
That's-
3?
Oh my
only
God.
only so,
So,
she's the
to
only
be
writer
clear-
because the other two were not writers.
Oh, well, no, I was about to say what the fuck does that mean? Like if he was down to 3 and one of them at least was described, or was both of them described as supervising prior season?
Yeah.
So now they've been promoted to writing
One worker
a significant amount of it.
Yeah.
2 people lording over the one writer.
Well, but do you understand? So like if we had X amount, it got shrunk to 3, and 2 of those 3 weren't even the ones that were responsible for the bulk of the writing of the first season. How the fuck did you guys make that decision?
That's crazy.
That's insane.
the team
In
over
the
in
membrane.
France, Fortiche, and we had a lot of Zoom
Ah, the
calls
French.
early in the morning, which is great for me.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, there are lots of Zoom calls. It's crazy. Like the story there's some through line, and then she just throws it like this. The team got shrunk. It's like, why? Why did you get rid of people that made season 1 what it was?
What? You pay them double and say, please don't leave.
When you catch that lightning on a bottle, I don't know why you change anything. Of course, I don't know the inner workings of the business,
Yeah.
I guess, but
Yeah.
it just seems like such a strange decision to change anything about how you are operating after how, like, unprecedentedly well it went.
I would
Did
say
a
that
rival studio steal them? Like, what went on?
as quick as that is, I feel like that like answers everything. Unfortunately, what we just heard, it
Mhm.
sucks.
It
But
sheds
yeah,
quite a lot of
that's-
light.
how unfortunate, because Arcane deserved better. But before we talk about the more conclusion of the whole thing, there's just a couple more things. This is Arcane Afterglow Act 3. It's just something Netflix released, and I guess you have Christian Link, a few of the people, some of the voice actors. They're all just talking about the season. And this gets said, and we're going to have to be careful here because this is probably copyrighted, so we might do some pausing, and I'll put a cover up just in case.
And cannot,
Mhm.
but here we are. Sorry, or you're welcome. To me, the Jace Victor ending was really, to a certain degree, it feels unresolved.
So,
You don't say.
think?
I don't even know if it's resolved.
the Jace Victor ending feels unresolved. Obviously, pausing him just to be safe, but we'll continue.
To a certain degree, it feels unresolved. Even though there is like an understanding for them in the end, but I just always feel like more should be said and they should experience more together, but we're not given that time, which I would say that's the most difficult one for me.
Mhm.
Did you catch that? You almost said we weren't given the time
Yeah.
Jesus. So you just casually admitted that like one of the stories didn't even have a proper ending, and it was the guys like Jason Victor had a shit ton of time
Yeah.
compared to
lots
some of the
time.
characters. And what's funny is I was
But
kind
then-
of citing this earlier with the whole like don't even try to make sense of the ending. The fucking writers don't even know exactly what the ending was.
Yeah. Yeah, they had so much time, but then while still having like this, what was it, like 6-month time gap or whatever, where we switched their perspectives. And when they actually meet each other again, they don't really talk to each other properly.
What do they think an audience member is supposed to take from what they saw of that ending? Do they have any idea what an audience member is supposed to think upon seeing that? Like,
well, some of the people online took away that they're hella gay because they touched their foreheads or something.
I guess they did do
those
that.
Those people are perverts.
Well, I don't even know what meaning I have to draw. Well, whatever. Also, this section of it as well.
We finish this together.
Just gonna pause for the safety.
But what about Jace and Victor, though? What's going on with them?
What happened to Jace and Victor? All right, Christian, give us the answer.
Are they all right?
They're all right now. I would say they have, unfortunately, disintegrated.
They have unfortunately disintegrated. Did they know that's what would happen when they did that?
Victor must have known. Jace, surely not.
Well, I don't even. The fact that it just seems so. What the fuck was their story?
Well, it ends with them getting sucked into a black hole.
They disintegrated.
They decide that they will face the consequences of Victor's glorious evolution together. That is unfortunately their end as well.
That's their end.
Okay.
Oh,
thanks for
very
clearing all that up.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
I feel really glad that that's the result of the entirety of their story, is that they disintegrate together.
Does it not make you want to just like sit them down in a chair and talk to them about the season?
I thought you said I'd torture them.
Well, yeah, and torture them about the season, you know?
Those two faces, I don't know the names, but the guy on the left and the girl in the middle, like their faces is just like, oh god, what are we doing? Like, what did you do to our characters? Like,
well, so what you learn even just from that is, man, that Christian guy, he shouldn't speak. But
you saying
Christian Link is a one-man argument against like the great man theory of media creation, you know?
The great retard theory.
So there's a post
it only
on
takes
Reddit.
one great retard to set us back generations.
Artwork from below.
There's a post on Reddit that says, co-creator Christian Link just said in the Arcane Afterglow that Jace Victor ending feels unresolved to him and they were not given the time. And then he himself posts on that thread saying, some theories here are a bit too far out there. No, we didn't ask Fortiche to produce an hour-and-a-half final episode. It was quite the opposite. Our scripts are always shorter than what Fortiche ends up promising in the storyboard phase. We want to let them get inspired and roam free, so we can then reel it in, while also allowing for the magical moments to find themselves. So already that's just bad news. The idea being that Fortiche want to do more, and that they're like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, yeah.
Let the music videos do the work.
Well, the fact is, like, ain't nobody blaming the animators for this, you know?
Nope,
he says, it's a tight, collaborative creative collaboration. Not some sort of, all right, vendor company, do your work, achieve the impossible, but do it quickly. I consider many of the people at Fortiche to be some of my closest friends. I find it disappointing that people would suggest these things. I guess, like, you know, people are theorizing how the fuck this season ended up the way that it was. And he says, no, we didn't get corporate greed or pressure or anything like that. However, yes, there are constraints, both in time and budget. That's part of our job as creatives, to work within those constraints. Constraints are normal, and they were always generous, and I always had final say on anything creative, but they do exist, and they always existed during Season 1. So, just him saying I had final say on anything creative is like, I don't think you want to take responsibility right now for every creative decision. Avoid it. He says, it would have been great to have more time to work on the second season, or extra time to add to the episodes, but we didn't have it, for a number of reasons. Budget being one. We have been extremely lucky to get these absolutely insane budgets from Riot to produce Arcane, and we all feel incredibly lucky. Nobody else gets these types of budgets. Please don't forget that. Again, not helping. Not helping the case at all.
I had the most money, so we fucked it up.
Well, it's just you were in a position where you had a greater abundance of money and time than is typical for a television show.
And you did this.
Can you imagine if some amount less of that money went to insert tracks? Perhaps.
He continues, time being the other constraint. There's a release window that a massive amount of people work towards, not just at Fortiche, but also at Riot on different games, at Netflix, brand partners, even key talent that works on the show that we simply put is getting tired, cranking away at this incredibly long season and project over multiple years. Don't forget that at the end of the day, this is just a collective of human beings, of people. I would assume that there is no other TV show that has taken as long as Arcane to produce 2 seasons without any pauses. Arcane is unrivaled in sheer scope of high-fidelity animation. I don't want to use any of these things as an excuse, but yeah, this work demands a lot on a human level. Our Season 2 is amazing. We've made you feel more than you've ever felt when watching animated characters.
Okay. You need to chill. You should not feel comfortable saying things like that.
Even if you believe it's true, you just
even
keep
if you
that
believe
to
it's
yourself,
true,
man.
you should keep it to yourself. Like
you just maybe don't mention that.
You do realize that you're putting yourself above everybody else when you say something.
You're
like
putting
that,
yourself
right?
above Wally there. You need to calm the fuck down.
You need to calm the fuck down.
You're putting yourself above a wide array of excellent media that is better than this season.
We're just better than The Last Wish. We're just better
even
than
if you're not
Wally.
talking about season 1, you probably shouldn't say things like this.
It is a remarkably arrogant statement. We've made you feel more than you've ever felt watching animated characters.
We've made you feel.
Also, why
Misery,
that animated
despair,
character specifically? Why'd you say that? Animated characters specifically. That's a weird. Why? Why would you single that out?
He
Is the implication
continues.
that like animation is a
Oh
medium
no!
It's not.
Well, you know how real people you can't feel anything for.
It's not perfect. You don't take these kinds of hefty swings and expect that everything wraps up perfectly with a neat bow tie. It grows and evolves in its own way, and it becomes what it becomes. Has any TV series ever successfully stuck the landing with this many main characters, time travel, supernatural abilities, technological inventions, fantasy world stakes, high concepts, complex relationships, and global expectations? I actually don't know. Would be quite curious to know if folks can think of any, so I can study them.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah,
Whose fault is that?
There's several
your own
things in
creative
this
work.
list that you could very easily have opted out of.
So he needs to stop talking immediately.
You picked the multiverse.
This is the man
You
that's
chose
vastly
this.
responsible for things in Arcane Season 2, and it's starting to make sense. And you're like, oh no.
He's basically saying, you don't understand, guys. I tried to do something that was really, really difficult, so don't blame me if it's not as good as you thought it was going to be. Like
He's doing the discourse equivalent of like picking at a scab. Like you're really not helping.
I just find it funny. Like, yeah, has any other story managed to nail all these elements that I chose to put in my story?
Well, and the implication is, has they ever nailed it as well as I've nailed it? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell?
You
The
need
worst
to
part is
chill.
the answer might still be probably.
I mean, season 1 does a
If you
better
look
job
hard
than
enough.
season 2. It doesn't have
Oh,
as
yeah.
many crazy variables as season 2 did. But
Yeah.
and also it'd be like there are other stories that have taken on a whole bunch of lofty concepts and done a better job of trying to funnel them into a cohesive finale.
everything everywhere all at once. Take that
I was
as an
literally
example.
about to say that.
pretty-
Complex
that's pretty
relationships,
crazy.
multiverse,
Yeah.
you know, all that
Mhm.
stuff.
So he didn't shut up, and he
He's been
unfortunately
busy.
he has a Twitter account, and someone shared a clip of him basically saying that he was kind of out of the loop on the whole Caitlyn Vi relationship thing. Even in season 1, he was kind of like, what? And everything, which got him in some serious trouble with the shippers and some league people. It's whatever.
Oh, no, not the shippers.
So someone called Katie says, listen, he may not have entered the project wanting Kate Vi to be a couple, but I'm certain everyone else did. He's just kind of stupid, dare I say. Now, you can just leave that alone. You can just
Random
see
Twitter
that
user
and be like, it had like
Probably.
10 likes, by the way, when he decided to respond to it.
Oh, he
You
looked
are
for that
under
kind of shit.
no
He was
obligation.
searching.
Is he out here
responds
searching
to
his name?
Twitter
or-
random.
Oh,
It's just like, dude,
boy.
you were the showrunner of a multi-million-dollar.
Wait, Friggy, you haven't seen what he's probably really reasonable. He said, or maybe, don't expect creatives to just blindly follow the audience's demands and instead allow them to develop their own vision and ideas. Had I followed your approach, all you'd have gotten is fight porn for 17-year-old boys who go 0-11 on Yasuo.
Oh god, that's
Yasuo.
Character in League.
That's a League of Legends
Yasuo,
character.
he's the edgy samurai guy.
He's
Like,
infamous
what
for
is
either
this?
going 11-0 or 0-11. But
What the fuck is this,
Why
bro?
would you say this?
And you know what's crazy? The amount of times that we just in this season breakdown talked about bad, unnecessary battles happening for no good reason when meaningful conversations should be happening. And here he is being like, if I followed your approach, all we'd get is fight porn for 17-year-olds. Like, what are you talking about?
he's
He wrote a
replying
really
to-
contemplative, like, art piece. Dude, I don't want to hear what Victor said in this season ever again, because it's the same shit everyone else has been saying on these sorts of subjects ad infinitum since people discovered the concept of free will.
It's also worth remembering that the person that he's replying to is saying that he doesn't know season 1 as well as like the original poster does and the fans do.
Even prior to season 1, the community shippers like Caitlyn and Vi. Like, isn't there something prior to Arcane for them or whatever? I'm not as familiar with the lore.
I don't know.
Not as such.
Okay,
but
well,
there was plenty of shipping.
What I was trying.
Either way,
obviously, the point was you didn't have to fucking reply to her anyway. It didn't matter. Like, it was so irrelevant. It goes on though, unless you wanted to add to that.
I was going to say, like, given the context of that reply, like, it's important to remember that season 1, the climax of season 1 is 4 people sat in a room together. The climax of season 2 is that they fight God.
Battle
and they win because
ever.
they threw time at him.
You can always tell when a story's gone to shit when it boils down to literally everyone versus the source of literally everyone's problems.
Yeah, and like the original poster sounded like a bit of an idiot, but like maybe Christian Link shouldn't reply and call his fans idiots.
What a great point you just made about him not replying anymore because she replied to his reply. She said,
"Oh no.
Wait, genuine question. Where did the porn angle come from? I'm so confused by this tweet. What approach are you talking about that I presented in my tweet? All I was saying is I was shocked because other writers have implied Kate Vi was always in the picture." And he responds. Which he shouldn't, but he continues to. This one is particularly Reddit. It begins.
Oh, God.
Katie, my sweet, you did not express your shock.
No.
You called me dumb. Be real. But I forgive you. My point is we must follow our own vision and not just listen to what audience wants, because the League audience is mostly dudes who just want to see fights.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So he's saying that the target audience for season 1 of Arcane, which I think we would all agree is excellent, was idiots who wanted to see people punching each other.
Steal his phone, take away
Take
his
away
phone,
his
and
phone
keyboard.
now.
Don't they have social media managers for that to tell them, don't do that?
That
Do not
sheds
do
so
this.
much light on how season 2 went, because season 2 seems to have been made for and by people who liked season 1 for the wrong reasons.
Why
It's
would
so condescending?
this idiot, man? And why would just stop replying to? So this thread, people realize, holy shit, he actually responds, and so people start asking him questions, and for some reason he decides to respond to some of them. So a user says, Christian, I've noticed a considerable amount of discontent surrounding Vi's character arc in the second season on the past few days. Many argue she's no longer possessing the prominence we witnessed in season 1. I completely agree. Vi is barely a character that decides things for herself. She's just pinballed around. It's terrible. What happened to her? Explain to us, Christian. He replies, I've read that criticism. It is true that Season 2 had other characters occupy more screen time. As writers, we were interested in these characters. I don't know what else to say.
So if you'd please consult the screen time graph.
So we didn't care about Heimerdinger, Savika, Echo, not really Mel. We didn't care about Singed, I guess. These characters.
Not caring about a character doesn't mean that you can't. You
can
not
abandon
obliged
them.
to actually try and write those characters well.
You should not be on Twitter saying, "Yeah, we just didn't really give a shit
I was
about
gonna say,
those.
when-
We moved on to other guys."
When has it ever been advisable
is
for
so
someone to say
season
this?
1.
Ever about their own work? I just, the character you cared about, I didn't really. And then you start to dig in. You're like, so you didn't really have any concept of the relationship between Caitlyn and Vi is like the main character of season 1, and you didn't care about her apparently enough to write her a story in season 2. It's like, how much were you involved with season 1, bro? This is starting to get confusing.
Yet she still ate a shitload more screen time than many other characters. She's the third highest.
A lot of it was spent crying, whining.
There's that one all-timer tweet about Vi's like fight record and whatnot.
Oh, I think that's actually in here. We'll get to it.
Okay, good.
I wonder if they shared this perspective with any of the voice actors, like Haley Steinfeld coming in, like, yeah, sorry, don't really care much about your character. Anyway, here's your lines. Like, I imagine that'd be an awkward sort of conversation.
So someone then responds to him, is it fair to assume that the writers responsible for Vi's incredible development in Season 1 are no longer part of the Arcane team? Because that's certainly how it feels. I've never seen a main character be so overlooked and reduced to irrelevance. Which I agree with completely. It's weird to... It doesn't make... Season 1 and 2 just don't cooperate. They don't exist together
They're
at
not
all.
friends.
No. And he responds, it's exactly the same people. I think your words are not exactly fair nor accurate, but I'd understand the point you're making.
Cool, okay.
It's not the same people. The team got shrunk.
Yeah, apparently it got shrunk. So
that's not true. Like, we know it's not true, bud.
Liar.
It's lies.
So, another person has some more things to add to this. They say, however, I do feel that Vi might have been the most affected by this, perhaps, despite having substantial screen time. We didn't witness many moments of profound individual conflict with her as we did with Jinx or Caitlyn or Victor or Jace, for example. And he says in response, Vi accepting the badge had some real inner conflict. Vi confronting Caitlyn in Season 2, Episode 3 had some real inner conflict. Vi breaking Jinx out had some real inner conflict. Vi not being able to leave Vander behind had some real inner conflict. At least to me, shrug.
Oh my
You say so, man.
Yeah, it was just to you. Yeah.
No, but seriously,
Like,
though,
what
take
the
away his keyboard. Someone
What the fuck? Who talks about their story this way? What the hell?
A lot of what he
She
was
put on
talking
that badge
about
instantly. Yeah.
is things that happened off screen. She made these decisions off screen, and we don't understand why.
Yeah, accepting the
He just
badge is
shows
not
up with
something
an
we saw.
enforcer
Yeah,
uniform.
that's true.
She just shows up with a cringe squad, and they go and gas Zonites for a while.
You put something
It's
out there
weird.
and people start registering disagreements with it or like objections to how it proceeds. Someone's like, well, I liked it. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do with
But
that?
also, what are you doing as representative? Like, Riot need to talk to him, because if this person says, I feel like we didn't get as many emotional opportunities with Vi compared to other characters, what do you think? The response is not, well, you know what? This scene was good. This scene was good.
Yeah.
This scene was good, at least to me.
That's just your opinion,
What you're
bro.
supposed to do, which I'm now like starting to think, oh, I guess there really are like way worse. It can be way worse than some of the stuff we end up seeing. But you know, like the diplomatic answer of, I'm sorry you felt that way, but we really did try to create a story for Vi that really did sort of bring forward a lot of what we'd built in Season 1. We felt a lot of the bigger points to hit on would be her relationship with Caitlyn and how that evolves, her role as a sort of diplomat between Zorn and Piltover developing, mainly because she's the only one that can fill that role. Obviously, taking the badge was a huge moment of conflict, and you know that I'm only addressing even Act 1. But I understand maybe that a lot of people want certain things for their favorites or certain paths they expect them to take. And we did everything we could, but ultimately we can't serve every character in every way that everyone would enjoy. And I'm sorry if you felt that she was underserved, something like that.
Thank you for watching the show.
Yeah, please subscribe to Netflix and watch Arcane Season 2, all that stuff. But no, doing this is like, are you crazy? Like, why would you ever say this? And then
he's being so defensive to where it feels it's coming across as if he knows that Season 2 is not as good as Season 1, but he doesn't understand why, which is why he's being this defensive.
He's got a real chip on his shoulder about it. You can only see that much.
He can clearly tell that this is not being received like Season 1 is being received.
No, and he's probably annoyed about that.
And it's souring very
go
quickly.
Up on stage, get your game award for best adaptation, and then just move on to the next show. Like, you're winning. Like, in terms of
you just
the
gotta
game
stay quiet.
Count Fumbula then says, in response to this, to be honest, the way they were explored felt shallow and cursory for most of the season. She felt like a plot device for other characters. And his response was, cool.
It's not really cool. You kind of ruined this character.
What the
him
fuck?
for a season. But,
Again,
okay.
Why did you even bother?
What do you gain from saying that?
Christian,
You should have
why?
just left and pretended you didn't see it.
It's just I like it because it's the smug expression taped over the crying.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool.
I think it was all over when he said "Katie, my sweet" at the beginning of that. Was like,
Yeah.
oh, dude.
That was typed with like frothing anger at the fingertips, you know.
It's as if you could just imagine him as like raging while he's actually playing League of Legends. It's like the stereotypical.
I fucking hate how nothing is capitalized or punctuated.
Just don't worry, Rags.
Like,
he's only in charge of the writing of season 2.
like it's actually like it's just so it takes longer for me to type like a gremlin because I have to deprogram my brain to not type properly. Ugh, I hate it.
So sometime later, he was then asked about the whole. Sorry, I should mention this pissed off all Arcane fans, as you can imagine, ones who liked and disliked the season, and it put into question everything about his sort of contributions and talent to the point where he's
up to this point he was viewed as being like
kind
the
of
lead
god,
creative voice, the person ultimately responsible for Arcane season 1.
That was my understanding. Yeah, prior to speaking to Moeller about it, it was. I thought that he was responsible for season 1 being as good as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that didn't work out for him because it's the hype of season 1 generated this sense that he's like undefeated and amazing, as you could see from that Reddit post where he just said like, has anyone achieved what I have, sort of thing. And all of those comments that have just flowed out of this ego-driven idiot has now like tanked his relationship such that an article was released that was titled "Arcane co-creator vows we will learn from it after fan frustrations of Netflix show's rushed final season," regarding Christian Link, who says he understands and respects Arcane's fans' complaints over its rushed second season, and he admits some of the issues are a symptom of the show's 2-season format.
Clearly doesn't respect.
2
Oh,
seasons.
really?
You could have made another season 1. Season 2 didn't have to have this grand, massive multiverse visiting time travel story. It should have just been like season 1, but what happens next with this political situation and these characters? Not we're gonna introduce the Black Rose stuff, and we're gonna do this big Zon thing, and we're gonna die, and Victor turns into Space Jesus, and all this stuff.
Time travel, multidimensional.
Stop it. Stop. You spent a whole fucking episode on the time travel bullshit, the multiverse thing.
Link's comments come in the wake of numerous fan complaints about one of the best Netflix show's sophomore outings. A major criticism among viewers has been the season's pacing and narrative structure. Quote, "I understand them," Link told me when asked if he accepted those criticisms. "I also respect that people feel that way." Quote, "We're making this for an audience of people, not just ourselves. It's hard. On one side, the vast majority of people seem to like it the way that it is, which is great. There are also some people saying it's rushed and there's too much going on. And I understand that. See, the way that he talks is infinitely frustrating. Like, well, man, everyone loved it, but there's some people who didn't, I guess.
Like, I respect them, even though
don't they know that I made them feel more than any animated thing that ever made anyone feel ever?
Under the smug Wojak, yeah.
But it gets even better. He says, "There's also a flip side to that opinion. There's been a good amount of fans asking why isn't Camille, who's part of Piltover, in the story, or why isn't Blitzcrank in there, or where's Twitch? Like, where do we include them, or where are going to be the other LoL champions? There's an economy to animation, and it's always nice to have more time, but this is the time we had." That's that. Like, in response to where all the characters ever wanted adapted, he's just like, well, that's that.
Well, you have to understand you are now, like, writing the new canon, as it were, or whatever. You kind of have an obligation to these characters, because otherwise, as you now have done, you just leave them in limbo.
Yep.
Well,
Camille can't exist. Camille has a Hex Tech heart.
Yeah, presumably with the League lore, they're either going to have to say that characters like Camille have like jumped over from an alternate universe where Hextech still exists, or alternatively, they're going to have to completely rewrite her story. Same with Blitzcrank, right?
Random, my sweet.
Yeah,
they will happily destroy anything if what we've seen so far. What they did to Victor is just the beginning.
Basically, half of everything in Piltover just can't exist anymore because Piltover's identity was entirely caught up in Hextech, more or less. Hextech was the Piltover thing.
Oh, we can make it the whole world's thing. Don't worry, it'll be fun. We'll put
What about
anybody
Renata
everywhere.
Glass? Are there even Chem
Well-
Barons anymore? Do those exist?
What'll actually happen is they'll introduce a new show with a bunch of new characters from a new region, and then they'll do it, and then they'll have a second season with a few more of them arrive, and then eventually it'll be like, have you forgotten yet about the Piltover ones we forgot? Because we're not doing that. Hopefully you can now start complaining about the Zorn ones the Noxus ones we've missed, and then the Ionia ones we've missed, and the Demacia ones we've missed. It will just go on forever and ever and ever. Oh, we're going to the Void. Here's Vel'Koz. And that's that. Moving on. You're like, whoa. And they're like, that's it. We did it.
You can have one Cho'Gath as a treat.
Yeah. He said, for people who tuned in to watch Season 2 having loved Season 1, I can see how they could have been disappointed because there's a specific pace and a specific way we did things in Season 1. Yeah, we changed it for Season 2. We wanted to do things differently in Season 2, so I understand and I respect, and I'd like to learn from that.
No.
It's different. It's just different. They just did it
Why
differently.
did you change? It was so good.
Okay,
Why
you did it worse.
Why?
I
Let's
would
go
like you
back
to
to the
learn
way you
from
did
this
it before. How about
experience,
that?
And yeah, let's go back to the other way and do it better again next time. All right,
this
great.
was a fun experiment, but for reals now. Let's.
Yeah,
oh
I'm
boy.
afraid this fun experiment has tanked the second half of the story you were trying to tell, so it's a bit of a shame, but
What
you
a
live and you
shame.
learn.
Christian, my sweet.
Everyone should say that to him
Yeah.
whenever talking about anything. So, I'm going to share some viral tweets that don't seem very positive about Arcane. This has 95,000 likes, and it is the scene where Heimerdinger is doing his song, and the tweet says, "This scene pissed me off because why are you showing me 14-year-old dead Vi while Heimerdinger is singing in my ear?"
Like I said, Heimerdinger gets more lines in his fucking song than he does dialogue in the episodes.
Oh god, it's so stupid. Next we have yes. So you've got the original tweet. I think this is the one you were referencing, right? Theo.
Yeah.
Looking at Vi's resume now that Arcane is over. 8 fights lost, 1 victorious. 11% win rate, 14 crying scenes, 0 lives saved in 15 attempts. The timeline where she dies is the only peaceful one. Most screen time yet, not even a top 5 character.
Brutal.
And then, so that's funny, but then someone quote tweeted that with 83k likes saying, "As a Vi fan, this tweet is going to haunt me. I wake up sweating and shaking because I hear 8 fights lost, 1 victory, 11% win rate, 14 crying scenes in my dreams." It's like, this was funny, and then it gradually became like, what the fuck did they do? Which has been the process for a lot of things related to Arcane Season 2. Like, it starts with memes, and then it gradually becomes like criticism. This is something I think we may have mentioned at some point, but it's worth bringing up. There's 42,000 likes regarding... Remember when they introduced the idea of the laser arm in Season 1?
The Hex Claw.
Nice and early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that Victor fans were like, oh, okay, cool, I see, yeah. And then they just went, the way they teased his mechanical arm in game just to throw it away, oh my. And the thing is, they throw it away only to randomly throw it back in temporarily.
Yeah.
It comes back in its final form, and it's just there. And you're like, why is it just there? It's just, he just has his arm.
It's a floopy arm.
It's amazing to me because...
You're a side sleeper.
Season 1 was clearly like, there you go, we set it all up for you. Then Season 2 is like, no, we're not interested. And right at the end, they're like, it'd be cool if you had a laser arm. It's like, what?
It was even
what are
in the
you doing?
visual design of the thing with how it was much more like utilitarian function over form than Jace's more gilded Atlas gauntlet.
Oh, well.
Actually, he's the Herald of the Arcane. He's the magic man now.
So then we got 93... likes posts that is about the moment where Jinx frees Grogu from the prison, and the tweet says, "I seriously can't believe we got this extremely soft scene like this that shows Jinx is healing just to literally kill the kid for no reason in the next act and reverse Jinx's progress." I thought this was so interesting. I was like, oh shit, even the people who like Grogu, they're like, what the hell did you do?
Why did you waste our time?
Just keep digging a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Then you got this tweet with 56k likes that just says, "I don't like the message that Vi and Jinx could never coexist and be happy at the same time." And I mean, it's kind of something we did discuss as part of it, but you got to be careful with your ending to the story. You basically say like the correct thing is for Vi and Jinx to not be together.
Yeah.
And really, I don't even think you've come close to justifying that, because I think there's a version of that that could work. But like, it's over. Does Jinx plan to make things shit for everybody now that the war is over and that there's an attempt at peace for Zorn and Piltover? Or is she just going? Is that just who she is? She's just a broken person who makes everything worse for everybody. Like I said, maybe you'd have some credence for that if not for Act 2, where you clearly show that she's fine. She's well adjusted, she's chilling out, she's got someone she loves, and she's not hurting anybody. Why'd you show us all that with someone she cares less for than her sister if you're trying to end the story by saying it's not possible for her to do anything but leave because she's a chaotic element that just brings pain to everybody? Like I said, gotta be careful. Now, this one, less liked, but it's still really relevant with how we were discussing things related to relationships. This starts, I need to explain this one. You got a tweet saying the way they both grieve their siblings regarding Vi and Caitlyn at the end of the season, and loads of the replies started to fill up with, "What are you talking about? Like, Vi, sure, but Caitlyn? Caitlyn doesn't have a sibling." And then the quote tweet of that is, "Seeing people in the replies and quote tweets saying they forgot Jace and Caitlyn were even close shows how much the writers flubbed their friendship. Like, Jace was the person she trusted the most." Like, yep. They fucked it up so much that people don't even know what they're referring to as, like, Caitlyn's potential sibling. Isn't that crazy?
It is wild. People don't even know what... It felt the one scene where they, like, actually talked for just a moment was symbolic more than anything.
Yeah. And then we've got... So, yeah, the damage of Season 2... the second season was big, and it's already had an effect, because I just read that Vi's story is not intrinsically linked to the fight of Zorn. Mind you, this is the character we're talking about. And look at these quotes. They got plenty while we're down here, scrapping together coins. You think anyone topsides going hungry? I grew up knowing I'm less than them, and that my place is down here. I want Powder to have more than that, and I'm willing to fight for it. Yeah, the quote says, "They ruined Vi's morals and character for the sake of a ship, and I'm not afraid to say it." Like, ooh. People getting mad, realizing some stuff here.
It has not been. The show has not been out long. It has not been out long.
Well,
and it doesn't. It's not going to get more positive as time goes on.
No,
it's like The Last Jedi.
Well, it's funny to me. The far more egregious thing was the gassing of Zorn. There's plenty of things you can pick, but I just can't fucking believe that happened. Crazy. But yes, this was once the character. She is completely gone in Season 2.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Gassing Zorn and slamming Caitlyn, those two have got to be the most vibrating moments. Given the context, obviously, I can accept her slamming Caitlyn.
When you said most vibrating moments, I was like, wait, what?
I didn't say vibrating.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Vibrating moments.
I suppose it's just a matter of whether or not you consider her becoming an enforcer and her gassing the Zonites to be one thing or two separate things.
I mean, it's
two separate decisions.
A combination. They're linked, but they're
Well, I mean, the question is, if Caitlyn had said, "I need you to put on this bag. We're going to go and gas your home," that would have made her less likely to put the badge on. So yeah, we have to treat them as two separate things.
Yeah, and then there was enough discussion of. So the ship that you'd see everywhere if you know anything about Arcane Season 2 discussions is for some reason Jace and Victor. Everyone was talking about, they're definitely gay, big old gay, and that's great. They shipped them, that's wonderful. Then some people were talking about how they were shipping Silco and Vander.
Oh, fuck off.
And it was like,
wait,
what?
I mean, everyone will get shipped together. That's just what people do.
And then
that's the nature of the beast.
It's the way of the shipper.
Then
nature
there's
of the beast.
Milo and Clagger.
Because of that one little glance.
You see, they shared a scene.
Well,
no,
Is it the
Flagger
is the-
kind of looks at Milo.
This is where I'm going with
it's
this.
probably the Eltverse scene where they have this little.
Of course it
bug
is.
or whatever.
The point
Yeah.
that's being made here is not actually that people ship, because we already knew that. It's that, and I think I find myself agreeing with this tweet, even though it's probably a shippy person. I don't know. But they've got images of those events, and they say, something's telling me that the Arcane writers don't actually know what brotherly love looks like. Because
this tweet.
They're not... Oh, do you have to do the...
Can you screenshot it for me?
It just doesn't.
The
Wait,
images?
does VX do
Yeah,
it?
it's just...
Or-
No, it says that this page doesn't exist.
Oh, okay,
Try
I
searching
gotcha.
for something else.
Oh, is it maybe deleted? I will
Maybe it
screenshot it before it disappears, if that's the case. One moment.
The second link leads me to a Japanese website of Twitter.
What? Okay. So, what they're highlighting here, and I kind of buy it, is I think that we were talking about the whole the writer that wanted them to fuck and stuff. I actually do. When we were watching the alternate dimension episode when Clagger looks at Milo in that scene, I had I don't know what I said, but I remember being like, "Wait, what? What are you?
Yeah,
what are you
that's
doing?"
Like you're trying to imply that. That's weird.
Yeah, and the thing is, if someone told me no, I'm saying that they have a brotherly love, I'd be like, oh, that's not what that looks like.
No, that's not what brotherly. You've not had a brother. Ever. You don't know what that is.
And look at that image of Vander and Silco. It's yeah, that's
just two bros being bros, man.
We're just bro and bro.
Listen to the pickaxes don't touch.
And to be clear, I'm not interested in the ships of any of these three. However, I kind of agree with the point that they're not exactly portraying these relationships as friendship exclusively. They're not doing a good job of that. And it might be because the writers are not capable of that, I guess. They don't know how. They only know how to make it seem romantic. Or maybe they're playing into shippers. That's also the theory.
I mean, this before with people who were like, "Oh, look, see, they do it with the Frodo and Sam thing." Pops up every once in a while, and people have to be reminded that not all love is romantic. People can be really good friends.
It could be that they just played into this because they knew that it would get traction on social media.
Oh, dude, I just refreshed this thing and it's gone. So we got to see a tweet. That's lost media right there. It doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Not only is that lost media, that's lost media of a tweet with 83,000 likes at that time.
Yeah.
Damn.
Crazy.
Probably
so
because
it's fucking Jover, man.
In conclusion, disaster through and through. Both
absolute catastrophe
in the story and, as far as I'm concerned, in the meta. I was not happy to see all of that from Christian Link, nor to find out what they did to the writing team, nor to see all of these different, what's being celebrated about the season broadly is the ships. That's the most that I see. It's not actually about the characters or the character journeys.
What actually annoys me as well, because he always talked about we didn't get more time. I wish we had more time. Apparently, they've already been working on another show for a year now.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, wow. So you just wasted, not even wasted, you just put resources that you clearly needed into this other show and just completely fucked over season 2 with this.
It's really frustrating to hear because you heard the writers say over and over and over again every time they were asked, the plan was always 2 seasons, the plan was always 2 seasons, the plan was always 2 seasons, repeatedly.
And now it's, we didn't have enough time to do what we wanted to do. I can't believe we have one of the most influential people of the project saying, the conclusion to the Jace and Victor storylines didn't really have... don't really have closure there. Don't really know what exactly is happening. Would have been nice to have more time. Oh well, yeah.
Disintegrated. Sorry.
And then you're like, what about Vi? Oh well, he only admitted that he didn't really care about it. Okay.
I mean,
what?
You got the Vi Jinx story, and you've got the Jace Victor story. Those are the 2 main stories of Arcane.
Yes.
I guess they really liked Caitlyn to the point where they fucking put her through every arc known to man in an instant. It's just, there we go. She's evil, good, evil, good, evil, good.
Really dumb, really stupid. God.
And then those are the ones they cared about. Everyone else got fucked.
Well, at least they didn't get vaporized and sent to an alternate dimension before that.
It's so fucking suitable that Heimerdinger is on the bottom of this list. Because that's how it feels
is,
watching the show.
unfortunately.
You might as well just put Heimerdinger, I guess. Like, that's his name.
There's a question mark after it.
Not even a name. He doesn't get a name. It's just this guy, whoever that is. Some dude.
Poor Donger, dude.
Oh, let's take a look at this.
So those are my numbers. Blue is season 1, red is season 2. So you can kind of visualize where they dedicated their time for certain characters. That's not every character, but it's every character.
Hey, Gert's got
Isha
0
was
for
way
season
better.
1. What's that about?
Damn.
Isha was way better in
No.
season 1.
Man,
Loris is in the middle. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, he has loads. He has more than Grayson. Look
dude,
how
he's
far down
almost
list
got the
Grayson
same
is.
as Warwick. What the fuck? The hell?
That's insane.
What is wrong with you
Loris
people?
does almost have as much as Warwick.
Look how high up Vander is. And
Yeah.
Silco. What the fuck, Silco?
Yeah, and I just noticed that, like, if you look at Victor, so
Oh wait,
much
that's
of
both seasons. Sorry, I'm retarded.
Yeah,
It's fine.
this is both seasons. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm tired.
if you look at Victor, like, what, 60-70% of his screen time was in season 1, and then Caitlyn, it's the opposite. They loaded her a lot more in season 2.
Oh yeah, she was
So-
the favorite for this season for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's
Man, Silco's still being so high up, even that he was even being so little in season 2. That's man. I
yeah,
miss
to-
Silco.
couple of people in chat are asking, this does not include the alternate timeline versions of characters. So all of episode 7,
They're different
basically,
people, yeah.
because again, they're different people. We learn nothing new about Vander by seeing an alternate reality version of Vander. So I didn't count it. And yeah, Isha's really high as well. So Isha nearly has as much time as Donga does in both seasons combined.
I hate her.
Oh my god!
Dude.
Holy shit!
Oh my god.
Holy fuck!
We could have killed her and had double Heimerdinger time. Like what?
We could have double dingered.
That's what we
Double
call it. The
donger.
double Heimerdinger time.
Double
Double
Dongerdinger
donger.
time.
We could have a double donger.
Well, I mean, what is there to say?
What an absolute catastrophe!
Fucking awful.
This was the
What an
Calamitously bad.
unbelievable.
I've seen the
travesty
sentiment.
to
It could
the
always have been
concept of the human
worse,
expression.
and I'm like, we.
It is fairly close to
Technically-
as bad as it could have been. It is
I
fairly
really,
close.
Not by a lot.
I agree. I totally agree. It is pretty close to being about as bad as it could have been. Like, it's a disaster. It's not like, oh, we know it's disappointing. It's got some flaws, but overall, it's still like a good season of television. It's terrible.
The only way it could have been worse is if the animation team somehow failed, but I guess
Yeah.
that probably was never going to happen.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
superficially, I still think that it is not as good as season 1. Obviously, like animation, voice acting, music, all the rest of it. Like, I think that the animation is the only bit that is definitely as good as, if not better than season 1. But that's icing on the cake. That's not a replacement for a story.
Oh.
It has no story to attach to elevate both of them, so you just don't have opportunities to really praise or talk about it.